Up on our list is a gentleman scheduled to come speak to our executive committee next month. So if you want to hear from him for more than 5 minutes, I suggest you come see us in the month of March, the first Tuesday at 6:30, right back here in this room. And that's Mr. Kenny West. Kenny, where are you? There you are. Come on up, Kenny.
First of all, I'd like to thank Matthew and the GOP at Madison. This is just an extraordinary crowd. I've been to so many events, but this right here is just packed, and we appreciate y'all. I know all the candidates appreciate y'all. Many of y'all might know me from last time. I ran in the 2010 primaries, and with my wife, Wilma. She was with me every step of the way, and she can't be with us today. She's a school teacher, and she on Thursday she got sick. And then she went to work on Friday. She's also the head of the social committee at Hayesville High School. And yesterday, our boys have gone undefeated this year in basketball, so they're playing state. So she was required to go in there and work the concessions. And she came back after a quarter, sick as a dog. And so she went to bed hoping she could come, but she woke up this morning about 101 fever. So I left my better half. I told her if I could just put a picture of her head on my body, I'd be okay, because she's my better half. But we live there, and we've been living in Clay County. We've been married going on 34 years. We've got 2 children. One of them lives in Buncombe. One of them lives in Hayesville, about 4 miles from us, married to the deputy sheriff. So he sort of keeps me clean when I'm going back real fast, back and forth, because this Clay County is the furthest. I'm the furthest county away. Everything I go to is 2 hours, everything. And when you go to Lenore, it's about 4 hours. So that's a long haul. We've increased this district to 17 counties. But you know, there's several people that asked me this time, they said, well, Kenny, what made you decide to run again? And frankly, after last time, it was just a blessing meeting so many people in this district, finding out there's just a lot of good people that believe the same way that I did, my wife did, and many of us believe in this room. Well, about October, several people, in fact, several of them from this county, they came out and they met with us over there in Clay County. There's probably about 27, 28 people involved. Not from just this county, about 10 counties represented. And they asked me, would I consider running again? And I said, well, you know, I'm the chairman of the Clay County Republican Party. I did that after I quit running last time, after I quit helping Jeff Miller last time. I also became I started the fastest growing Rotary in the history of Rotary out there in Clay County. I'm the president-elect of Rotary. I sit on the Business Advisory Council, and I'm also the trainer for Liberty National. So my wife said, what are you going to do with your spare time? And I said, well, I don't know. She said, but Kenny, I think you need to. Now, when your better half looks at you and tell you, you need to, you need to. I've been listening to her for 34 years and I haven't gone wrong yet. So I've decided to run again. But there's a reason. Our country's at a tipping point right now. We've got a very desolate situation going on in this country. And it's not just a financial problem we have, because I believe with the right leadership we can get out of this financial problem. Our problem is this. We have got timid congressmen in Congress representing us. We can no longer afford to have representatives up there that when things go awry, you never hear from them. We can't do that. We've got to stand up and fight. The one thing I found out with the Republican Party, their principles are solid. They are pro-life. They understand that marriage is between one man and one woman. That's the primary reason I'm a Republican, because I believe in the moral principles and their platform they stand on. But let me just tell you this. The biggest problem they have more than anything else is when we send these people to Washington and all of them tell us what we want to hear. I've been out there, I've listened to it. When they get up there, sometimes they breathe some bad air. And then all of a sudden when they start breathing this bad air, they can't put on a mask. They can't put on a mask, they keep breathing it. Then all of a sudden you don't hear from them no more. And these are Republicans too doing this. I'm telling you, it's about time we send men and women that are principled and character up to Washington, D.C. It's about time the leaders get back involved with this country that God left us and has blessed this country so greatly for. We have got a determination this time to not just change Washington, but we've got to change the culture in Washington. And when I hear people, and look, none of these men and women that are running right now, they're not my enemies. They're not my enemies. Not at all. I'm going to tell you who my enemies are. My enemies are the people that sit up here and squash and walk on the Constitution of the United States. Those are Kenny West enemies. My enemies are the men that sit up here and throw religious freedom under the bus, whether it be with the abortion bill or whether it be with the contraceptive bill, but the contraceptive law that Barack Obama has just put in. Where are the Republicans standing up screaming about this? I don't see them. This is what we've got to do. We're lacking conviction in Washington right now. We're lacking character in Washington right now. It's easy to say all this in front of a great Republican crowd that'll applaud you. It's another thing willing to get knocked down 10 times and get up that 11th time because you know that 11th time is still the right thing to do. This is America. Our freedoms and our liberties are at stake right now. Our freedoms and our liberties are at stake. Our legacy, whom are our children. Our legacy, who are your grandchildren. Some of you are in this room's great-grandchildren. I'm not going to point you out, but I know you got them. But let me just tell you this. Their future is in our hands. And it's going to make a decision whether or not we want to get up there and fight. This is not about whether or not the person's the brightest. It's not about whether or not the person's got the deepest pockets or the best resources. This is about whether or not this person's going to stand up there and represent the greatest people in the world. And call it a privilege. You know, one of Rotary's mottos is very simple. Service above self. That's a dynamic motto. Service above self. We should never look at this that it's about any one person. It's about everybody in this room. And I can promise you this. When I go up to Washington, and if Kenny West was up there, and the president sits up there and he goes, well, you know something? Washington's not, he said, Congress is not moving forward right now. Let me tell you what Congress is doing. The Republicans are gridlocking me and they're not moving forward. So what I'm going to do, and we heard this speech on the press conference, I'm going to move on without them. Let me just tell you what your congressman would have done. The same day I'd have had a press conference and I'd have had 20 to 40 other congressmen standing behind me, and if none of them wanted to speak, this old boy right here would. And this is what I'd tell him. I said, Mr. President, while I respect the office, and while I respect you as a president, you're one of only 3 equal branches of government. You're not a dictator. This is not a monarchy. I sit in the other one, and you're not moving nowhere without me. That's what needs to happen up in Washington. The timidness has got to stop. Democrats are playing rugby, and we're going to the game with the golf clubs. It's time we go up there and ready to butt heads with the Democrats because they're stonewalling and ruining this country. I'll promise you this. You'll never have to worry about me. I don't waver. Never have, and I never will. My principles will not ever be unshaken. They will never be shaken. It will never happen in this lifetime. I tell everybody I got 3 priorities in my life. My life is very simple. My God, my family, and this country. And my kids are the biggest reason that I'm doing this. Chris Petrella was right. It's about our kids. And it's about getting behind somebody that can actually change things. Once again, my name's Kenny West. I would love to have your support, and I would love to have you vote. Thank you, and God bless you.